Dongpo pork is one of the most famous Chinese dishes.
Today we're going to make it in the sous vide, and if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you get our sous vide recipes every week.
Dongpo Rou is named after the poet Dongpo. He's also a foodie. Dongpo used to be an official in Hangzhou. He helped with dealing with some of the floods and fixing one of the lakes or something like that. Anyway, the people were really happy and started gifting him pork because they knew that he was a foodie and he loved red braised pork. So he got so much pork that he was like, oh my god, I can't eat all this pork and I want to share with everybody. So he got his cook to cut the pork up into perfect little cubes, and also he asked him to gift it with the wine. So now the cook misunderstood what Dongpo said and thought he asked him to cook the pork with the wine. But it turned out to be a delicious mistake. And there's even a poem dedicated to it. I mean, obviously, because it's named after a poet. A really rough translation: slow cooked, little water, and when it reaches the right fire or the right temperature, it would be super delicious.
All right, and how we're going to reach the right temperature today, we're going to put it in the sous vide. So the main ingredient of Dongpo Rou is the flavor from the Shaoxing cooking wine. And since we're doing the sous vide, it's difficult to cook out the alcohol. So I'm going to pre-cook it in our pan just to cook off the alcohol. We're going to put in our 2 pieces of sugar. So the sugar, you can do it to your taste. If you like it more sweet, you put in more, and if you like it less sweet, you put in less. We'll try and get that to melt, and it's not that important. If it doesn't melt, it's okay too, just as long as the alcohol cooks out of the Shaoxing wine. Next, we're also going to put in our soy sauce. We have 2 different kinds.
Dark soy sauce is more for coloring, and we're gonna put half dark and half light. Light is for the flavor.
Let that come up to a boil. I do like to put in my ginger now just so it imparts the flavor into the soy sauce, but you can also put this in at the end. Okay, so we're gonna let that just cook off for a couple minutes. The next thing we're gonna do is cut the pork. We're gonna go for about 2-inch by 2-inch pieces. I am going to cut straight down the middle. The next step to this is to tie the pork. Is it because it was a gift?
I guess you can interpret it that way. I don't know if the Chinese have gift wrapping.
No, they just have red envelopes.
Well, I think mainly it's because the pork itself will be so soft after cooking. So when you tie it, you can basically pick it out from the string. Because if you grab it by the meat, it'll probably fall apart. So I think this is to keep the shape.
So the easiest way is to put it flat on your board. We're going to take a piece of the meat. We're going to put it right in the middle of the string. Okay, we're going to put 1 tie here. And then we're going to cross it. And we're going to flip it over and tie it on the back side. Okay, I like to put a double loop here. I like to go through twice so that it sticks. Okay, then you can easily put your dead knot on. Okay, and so we just fix it up a little bit, make sure it's in the middle, and it'll look like this. The next step is to bag it. In this one, it's important to use a heavy-duty bag. A Ziploc bag might break because we're going to do it at a higher temperature for an extended period of time, so it's best to use a vacuum bag. We're going to place these nicely and a little separation between them so they don't all mush together. If your bag has a smooth side, make sure the smooth side has the skin side because this is very important for presentation. Otherwise you're going to have
bumpy skin.
Yeah, like you just woke up from sleeping on your pillow weirdly.
So we'll put it in the meat side so the scallion shape doesn't show up on the top.
Also, you don't want it to stick, so at least if it sticks on the bottom side, you don't see it later. Pour in your marinade. So you pour in all of it, ginger and sugar, everything that's in there.
This water is this color because I just use the same cup. It's safe, okay?
If you don't have a vacuum sealer with a pulse function or a chamber vacuum, then you can cut your bag larger and use a water displacement method and hook it off the end because it's not that easy to suction with water inside or liquid. So we have a sealer with the pulse function, so we're going to seal it. This is what it looks like once it's sealed. We'll try and make a little space between them. Okay. So we're going to dump this into our water bath. We're going to leave it in there for 16 hours. We're going to do about 180 degrees Fahrenheit. And so we'll see you tomorrow.
Good morning. Okay, now the Dongpo Rou is done and we have taken it out for a couple of minutes.
Yep.
So what we're gonna do now?
We're going to try to remove it from the bag without breaking them. They're delicate, like you can kind of see that they're really soft. We're going to take out the meat, we're going to separate the fat, and then we're going to reduce it. So let's do that. Okay, and we're going to pour it into the separator. You can smell it.
Yes.
It's the right smell.
Le pork. So now you can see in this fat separator, it's separated the sauce and the oil, so we don't want any of the fat, and we just want to keep the sauce and reduce that for our glaze.
Yep, and we're going to pass it through a strainer so that we just catch any of the extra particles that are left behind. So you can see we caught some solids. We're only left with the fat here. You're gonna want to taste it just so you know what you need. Maybe you need to add something, maybe you need to cook it down. It's a little salty, so we're gonna add a little water. And also, we think we can do a little more sugar, so we're gonna add a little more sugar. We're gonna bring it up to a boil. It's already warm, shouldn't take too long. Let me add another chunk of sugar. Okay. And then we'll do water to taste. In addition to thicken the sauce, because if you just keep cooking it down, it's just gonna get saltier and saltier. So we're going to use a little bit of cornstarch and some of this water, okay? And we're just going to stir this up, and this will be our cornstarch slurry for later on.
A good thing about this recipe is that you don't need to do a second finishing step for the meat. I feel like a lot of Chinese recipes don't need that.
Yeah.
I guess the texture requirement is different.
Gelatinous stuff is a big thing.
Yeah.
So once it's come to a boil now, we're going to just turn it down. We're going to give it a taste again. So that's the taste we're going for.
Yeah.
Okay, we turned it down and we're going to add our cornstarch slurry, okay? You don't want to add your cornstarch slurry to a hot mixture because it's just going to fall to the bottom and burn. We're going to add it into here slowly, and then we're going to stir it at the same time. Okay, here we go. So you're going to want to boil this down until the consistency that you want. Don't boil it too far because it's going to get salty again. If you need more, add more cornstarch, and the consistency looks a little bit like this. So while we were plating this, we may or may not have eaten a bunch of them already. It was really, really good. Well, anyhow, let's taste it again.
Well, first of all, actually what I learned from filming with some Chinese chefs, to see a good pork belly, there's this thing called the jiggle factor.
Right.
So, do you think, does it have the jiggle factor? It's pretty jiggly.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's do it.
Okay.
Got our spoons out. Ooh. Destroyed.
That pork fat is melt in your mouth good.
It's fat, but not greasy. The flavor has penetrated throughout.
This goes really well with bok choy, and definitely you need rice. Like, oh my, I'm drooling. It's hard to speak. My mouth is full of saliva. Okay, so you pair this with some rice and some bok choy, and it is going to be the perfect meal. I think it's fit for a king.
This sauce, you can drink this sauce.
As we were reducing it, you want to get to a consistency, like kind of like, it's not too thick, it's not like a thick gloop, not like a custard, and not like just soupy. So you just want something between, and you want to make sure that it sticks to your meat. Like it will be able to coat it and stick on there and will look Nice and glazed and beautiful.
If you have any requests for recipes, let us know in the comment section down below and make sure to give us a big thumbs up. That will help us with the YouTube algorithm.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Yes.
Subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. And notification bell. All right. Dongpo Rou is known to be oily but not greasy and something but not fragrant.
Melt in your mouth.